damage of it. Yeah, I'm not too sure how to answer the question, how are you right now? Yes, it was. So I completely turn off my mic when I go to sleep because I sleep in the same room, so that way I don't... The blinking red light of it being muted doesn't bother me much, but like it's hooked up to a USB port, USB hub, and that's got a blue light. And I remember to turn the USB hub on, and then I forgot that it defaults to muted. Not the first time it's happened, probably not the last. Oh, did I close that? No, I don't think I ever opened it. Lace strips. Alright. Oh, so many. Anywho, what I was doing was first off reviewing this, did a small change in ordering with the undo enchantments from inventory to general menu mode. And was looking into resist water damage to see if it affects drowning, and I got nothing. As far as I know, that just resists lava damage. Then when I close out all the tabs for looking up drowning, just chair simulator, what the hell? Anyway, I'm sure you were there for that though. Okay, what else do I need? Variable-wise, variables. Well, I need the resists. It's not really armor. I mean, again, I can technically make this armor. It's not really armor. Wait, is shield on? Yeah, shield's there. Just these have... Did I mention that in my work log so far? What the base enchantment is? Oh, no, it's not just Steam. Oh, hold on, let me... Epic, Steam. A lot of Steam. Yeah, it tracks it from a variety of sites. And this is just like the home page. It's always there. I feel like we're going down to clickbait at this point. Never scrolled this far, or even scrolled on this page. Yeah, dude, Opera GX is just an awesome browser. It even tells you free weekend, free to play. And that's just free right now on Steam. It's for these. That's free to play. Huh. Oh, and then there's the release calendar. Okay. Organize it by freaking by platform. Yeah, this one looked neat back in the day. How is this new upcoming and interesting? Okay. Guessing the heart means interesting. By the way, best feature of this browser? Force dark pages. Let's go to like, I don't know. Actually, this should have decent contrast. You can force dark pages. That's just hands down the best feature of any browser I've ever used. And this browser has a lot of good features. Alright. Do I want to have... Nah, I don't think I want dynamic resistances. But I do need to know... I mean, I could make it armor 0 AR. That is possible. Kinda rather make it clothing, because all the jewelry is clothing, and at least adhere to that. What the hell's the base enchantment, though? Maybe shield? Maybe shield. Thing is, I don't think people would generally pick shield because it is subject to the hard cap of 85% damage reduction, which it shares with armor. So you're taking 15% damage at the least, no matter what, from physical. But because of that, it also makes it a decent base enchantment, because then you don't get to pick it. It's just there automatically. But also, if I have that scale too fast, it's going to stack with your armor. And there's 3 pieces of jewelry, so that's like 3 points of shield every time there's an increment, which is going to increase fast on your damage reduction. Could be the restore effects. Whatever. Have to think of the base effect later. For now, though, I make use of the bathroom. I don't know if I'll keep you up and running or not. Actually, while I'm gone, play a different album. One that I have downloaded on here. I'm back, and I had some ideas while on the throne of thought. Normally when I think through things and then I come to a conclusion, I then discard all the thoughts that led to it, just to save space, I guess. Thanks. So, I'm afraid I will have difficulty completely walking you through my thought process, but I will attempt to nonetheless. See, shield effect's not gonna quite do it because it scales a bit too fast, although I could look up how much. I should just keep that window open. I keep looking up things. Yeah, we're in Oblivion. Yeah, items. Items. Where was it? Where was it? Items. Armor. Yeah, like 20, 52.5. It's not that bad. For 16, that is the weakest armor in the game. It's like +3. At that point, that's actually not too bad. It's significant, I mean significant increase in AR, but it's not absurd. Because, I mean, we go from iron to steel, that's a difference of 5 AR, so that's why I say 3 is a really big deal. But it's not absurdly huge amount either. Most certainly not initially. As you know, I have not played Morrowind, so I just want to enjoy it for what it is. I just want to get the mods to make it a stable experience, maybe quality of life, and that's it. Basically vanilla. Vanilla with quality of life. And I'll play through that to my heart's content. And then either... I don't know if I'll do it immediately afterwards. I might decide because I know one playthrough of Elder Scrolls game is going to take us like half a year or more. So by that point, I may just be thinking, let's do something, let's change up our pace a bit and play something else once I complete the first playthrough. But eventually, whether it be immediately afterwards or not, I'll then go back, mod the crap out of Morrowind, so it's non-vanilla. Or more like what I did with Oblivion, where like, it's vanilla-ish. It's still pretty modded. And probably towards the end of that, I'll have enough experience with modding Morrowind to start thinking of what I want modded into the game that's not currently in existence. Because that's how I started modding Oblivion. I got to the end, I'm like, yeah, I'd like this. Let's try to make it. Oh boy, heavy armor incrementing by 5. Ooh. Man, that's rough. Except for Ebony to Daedric, which is just absurd. Alright, let's get this straight. Iron armor, 40. Steel armor, 45. Dwarven armor, 50. Orcish armor, 55. Ebony armor, 60. Daedric armor, 75. Just triple the increment. Bloody weird. Fur's also an outlier in that it goes from like 25 right down to 16, which is just... God, Fur is awful. But it's there. It's there. It exists. So like, 3-point shield, and it goes up by 1 as the jewelry levels up, but it'll be something like plus 20 or whatever by level 20 or 25. Even if I slow it down, and that's just going to be an absurd amount of AR. For weapon packs, you gotta learn modeling, which is a whole different set of skills from scripting, which is what I'm doing. Making a quest, though, should be easy enough because the construction set is designed around making quests and making levels. Like, you can script the construction set, but it's not really designed to do heavy scripting. You gotta finagle that. So yeah, what you're doing is gonna be easier than what I am taking part in. But it's also a different set of skills from mine. So I can't really help you. Except that I've heard Blender's what people use. Alright, that's a good mod. Wait a minute, there's actually... Oh boy. Okay, I should not go on that much of a tangent. I was going to look it up just to show up, but there are gun mods for Oblivion. And I haven't used them because I don't want guns in my version of Oblivion. But looking through the screenshots, reading through the descriptions, they legit guns. Like they are mechanically guns. There might be one or two that's like a staff or a bow, but there are others that not only do they all have gun models, they behave like guns. How they accomplish that, I don't know. I didn't download it. Yeah, I remember 50 cal and an AK. Yeah, like the easiest thing to do when making gun mods is just to find a ranged weapon in the game and just slap a gun skin on it. That way you don't have to... It's really easy to do that, but it doesn't really behave like a gun at that point. At which point, what you can do next is kind of hack it so that way you have a full auto crossbow or something, but it's still a crossbow underneath that if you ignore the gun model. But beyond that, doing full-fledged, just let's implement either a new weapon type, which I don't know how you do that in Oblivion given the weapon types are hard-coded, or you just script together a new subtype that behaves its own way with new animations, which is just, oh gosh. Yeah. Like, I didn't make any of the models in my mods. I looked around the Nexus and got permission where required. Just be sure to give credit, though. Credit where credit's due. Where was I? Okay, so there's shield effect. That's kind of out. That's something that you can increment small increments, not a huge impact on gameplay. Gold you find? I mean, there's like the Imperial racial passive. Just like, hey, you get like 1% more gold from stuff. And I'm thinking like, yeah, I could do that, but then like, how do I find out if what's gold you pick up from a container versus gold you got from an NPC versus gold you got from trading? And then I also remember that's just a racial passive, so like, Well, could do the same thing, but it's like XP gains, though that does end up having a cap to it, because eventually it'll max out everything. Enhances your growth rates, but that can also throw you off in a way you don't want, because maybe you want a slow growth type of playthrough. And actually, people who want that and are willing to go into the in file to reduce my stuff's growth rates would probably also find the setting here and reduce that as well. Either way, next idea was, well, just reminding myself that racial passives exist, racial bonuses. Could modify racial bonuses, like plus 1% to racial bonuses, but they're not all passive stuff. So, again, issue. Could be birth signs. Birth signs are all passive. Well, no, mostly actually. There are some that are active, but I can still modify their values, though. I detect their cast. Then there's the mods that probably overhaul birth signs. And I don't know what the heck they do. So they could entirely break this aspect if I decide to pursue that. So again, birth signs are a bit iffy. But jumping off of birth signs, since they do give you passive effects, we could have the default enchantment modify active effects. So it just multiplies all the active effects on you. So you got Fortify Health 100 points, now it's Fortify Health 105. I mean, that could get super freaking broken by the end, which is fine, and you can do slow growth to it as well, because it's percentage values. I could have it modify specifically certain things. Wait, reduce durability damage? Maybe. 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 I should write these down so they're in the word log. Was it? Shield. Not gold game, gold found. Going with multiply gold found, because it would be a script, I could also potentially chance to duplicate looted items. The problem with that, though, is I'd have to be able to detect if it's a quest item, and therefore there should only be one, and mods might try to kind of hack things together to make sure you only get one of a thing and not really mark it in the usual way vanilla would, which could also cause problems. If there's like a standard way of marking this is a special container or this is a special item, then I could go for this. To just have a chance to just duplicate looted items. But to my knowledge, there isn't. Because Oblivion came out in the mid-2000s, and people were still coding in C back then, not C++, and standards weren't really nearly as well defined back in the mid-2000s. It's gonna be a lot of poorly maintained code. You should duplicate looted items. Where was I? Alright, multiply per sign. Actual bonus. Apply active effects. There's also... Right, there's multiply XP gain. I definitely want a structured effect at this point for the base effect, because that way I can make sure it's really granular. It's really, really granular. And unique. But primarily granular, because it's the basic effect. Alright. Oh, first off, question mark there. And then we have reduced durability damage. as a possibility. Until I find out there's no functions that let me do that. But what I'm guessing is I'm just going to have to like check how much durability, like it'll take durability damage, and then I'll have something that can catch that and then restore durability. And that'll be end result damage reduction to durability. That could still cause some problems depending on when all that stuff happens, but yeah, that can work. Multiply enchantment effects. Multiply spell effects. Just as a sub of active effects. Nah, not as a sub, because it'd be... whatever. Enchantment effects. I don't know. Got options. Got a lot of options. Reduced durability damage can only go so far. Well, so eventually hit 100% reduction to durability damage. And then it'll go over 100%, so you start healing durability, and that can get kind of broken in its own way. In an unwanted way. I'll tell you, 150% durability increases the item's stats by 50%. So if every time you get hit, the AR goes up, things are going to start getting out of control. Because you have no way of bringing that durability down. Aside from removing the jewelry, of course. But I also have the whole sacrifice thing for potential durability regain, so reduce spell cost? Ooh, reduce spell cost. Alright, that could be neat. That could be really neat. So one of the things that I really like about the XP design on Dyspharagon and Sephiros is that you naturally get less XP the higher their levels. With Dyspharagon, you get 1 XP per hit, 3 for power attacks, because power attacks have do 3 times the damage. But as Dyspharagon levels up, it deals more damage, so you're killing things in fewer hits. Same bandit, less XP, because it's a shorter fight. And Sephiros is you gain XP based on damage taken, but as it levels up, damage reduction increases, so you take less damage and therefore get less XP. And with the jewelry, I mean, it doesn't really have anything like that unless I make the base effect reduce spell costs. Because then you gain XP from casting increasingly expensive spells, but this also reduces the cost of said spells. Ooh. I can't make it percentage though. I really can't. If I make a percentage, it could eventually hit 100%, and then you're getting arguably no XP. It kind of depends. Depends how I implement it. Because if I implement it as restore magicka after you cast the spell, then it can scale infinitely, honestly. But if I actually have it affect base cost, that could affect XP gain. And if it nullifies the cost of the spell, you don't get XP. Well, isn't that why I did base cost in the first place? Because if you get to 200 on your magic skills, it actually nullifies the cost of all spells. Hence, I'm able to cast rapidly that continent purging spell for 0 magicka. So though, that was a very exciting idea that came to me. Reduce spell cost. The thing is, you should always be taking damage at some point with Sephiroth, because physical reduction caps at 85%. Magic reduction goes up to 100. That's for sure. And as it gets higher, it's going to get tougher and tougher. Because, say, resist fire, it'll grow resistance to fire as you take fire damage. But as it gains resistance to fire, you'll be taking less fire damage. It's like the last few percent here is going to be real rough, that's for sure. No, not absorb. Well, maybe absorb? Spell absorption you can choose, that's for sure. Well, I have options. I have brainstormed ideas. Multiplying active effects, or some subset thereof, by a small percentage seems like the most balanced-ish way to do it, but reduced spell cost is still very, very tantalizing. Oh, but if I multiply active effects, I then have to... never mind. I just thought of, like, the polling rate, because I'd have to check your active effects every so often, right? For changes. But, like, I already have the mod run itself every half second while the game's running. So, there you go, that's your polling rate. Now, ideally, I like it to be when you receive an effect, but I don't know if and I can tell when that happens. There are listeners that I can set up that tell me when you've taken a new magic effect and I can check if it has persistent effect. But I don't know if I can do the same for when an effect ends. You got any ideas? Yes, it grants you 1 wish per month. 1 wish per in-game month. Increasing wishes per month. Or decreasing cooldown. But still, that's, like, what would you be allowed to wish for? Shit, that's actually pretty interesting. Or year, or in year. But, like, the thing with that is that as it levels up, we get to choose enchantments. You get prompted to choose them. So, you can pick your stealth-related enchantments from here when you gotta do the thing. You can get your Detect Life and your Chameleon if you're not invisibility, that's a toggle. But you can get that stuff. Right? I know exactly what you meant when you said, I wish that you have no ideas, but I still got an idea out of it.
Yeah, Matt Cross, 2E2021. Yeah, SGM. Put the truth in every line.
Actually, depending on how strong the wishes are, that could be an active choice rather than the basic effects. But hey, it's a thing. It's a damn. That's an idea. Oh, or the magnitude. Bringing up wishes though, and wishes and cooldowns. Reduced greater power cooldown. Because by default, you can only cast a greater power once per day. Could reduce that. Or it can increase the number of casts per day. Nah, I should Let me write this. Scale magnitude of effect instead of magnitude scales. Scale magnitude. There we go. That's more readable. Oh, and if it's wishes per cooldown period, that could actually be one way to implement de-leveling, which is the fact that it's not you get one wish per month, it's that you get one consequence-free wish per month. And every wish after that de-levels the item. Super secret rank. Okay, the bore meat I can do by just implementing a little RNG check in there. But the rat companion, that requires having companion code. Companions aren't that well implemented in Oblivion. Maybe a resist death effect? Nah. You know, it'd be like an endure effect, where like you take fit lethal damage, survive it with 1 hit point. But it would be like a chance of activating, so it has something to scale, but then at that point it's like when you need it most, when it would most likely to activate at low levels, you would also have the lowest chance, and when it has the highest chance, you're at the point where you're not taking damage. Dead rat and all. You know, I'm still, when I consider the quote-unquote lore friendliness, though, the effects, the magnify, multiplying active effects thing still seems like the best option. Because no doubt, mechanically, making a wish every X amount of days is a fantastic idea. But from the effect that this is, like, these are artifacts, they're supposed to just do the thing that they're just trying to be the best that they can inside their own categories. Like, Zephyros is going to be the best armor possible. You use Farragon the best weapon possible. That's kind of how they work. Gain enchantments and their own, enhance their own properties to that effect. So jewelry, I mean, would you really make a wish on jewelry? Usually you just enchant it. So having it multiply enchantment effects or active spell effects or just all active effects would be the more expected way to go with that logic. Even if it is one of the less interesting ones. Okay, here's the thing. When it comes to making wishes, I'd have to give you a message box for that. Because, I mean, I could... there are, like, text boxes, but I don't really know how they work. I didn't figure out how the text box work in OBSE. I tried it, I couldn't pull out the... Like, I can bring it up, and you can type in stuff and properly hit enter, but I can't get what's actually inside there. You're supposed to be able to, like, pull out the stuff that you've typed, but I never figured that how to do that. which means since I can't just let you type in whatever. Well, even if I could let you type in whatever, and then have to freaking anticipate everything? And do you have any idea how many fucking options there would be at that point? If you could literally type in the name of any item inside the engine, any of the thousands of entries, just have it spawn in front of you, or even type in full sentences. Like, God, that's a lot of parsing to do. So ignoring that, I'd have to give you a list of things you could wish for. So, I could make the list random. I could just have it be the 10 buttons for the wish. Well, not 10 buttons. It could be 9 buttons for the wish. 1 to cancel. There's no paging. And then with the no paging on the wish list. Wish list. So with the wish list, it would then have, like, I don't know, come up with like 20 or more different possible wishes, and then just randomly pick 9 to throw on the wish list, with maybe a few permanent stays, like wishing for gold. Yeah, this really does sound interesting. Yeah, that is also possible too. Alright, what should be the next thing to play? It's a really nice piano album, but we might fall asleep to that. Yeah, here are Hatsuki. Yeah, making it a random blessing, though. It feels lazy. Which is not a bad thing for a programmer to have. I mean, trying to find a lazy way to do things is how you get better at coding. But as a designer, giving the player a random list just sounds more entertaining to me than just randomly giving them a buff. Then there's the question, oh wait. I was about to ask the question of, like, how long do these things last? Do the effects of the wish last? Do the effects of the blessing last? So 1 month, 1 day, 1 week? When I realized I could just set in any... I can make that in any setting. I just think up the base amount, probably 1 month, and just throw it in the ini file. And there you go. There you go, now you can set it to 1 day if you want. Every day, get a new blessing. Ooh, and I can separate the, there would be a cooldown for how often you get blessings, but there's a duration on the blessings, and I can make those two separate. So you can have multiple blessings active at once, or multiple wishes. If you say get a new blessing every day and it lasts for 3 days. And with leveling up, oh wait, no. It could add more stuff to the pool as the level of aggro increases. But since the level can technically go on to infinity, doing that till infinity is an infinite task. And they'd have to be handmade too. The entire way, so no thanks. No thanks. You're probably magnitude that kind of implicitly settled on allowing the player to make wishes, huh? All these more mundane, simple effects that could be powerful, but not too powerful to start with. No, they skipped all of that just for making a wish. All because you said, I wish. This is going to be a lot of functions. A lot of functions. Yeah, it's gonna be freaking Make-A-Wish every X days. Yes, it could be, say, like, make one wish every month, and make 2 wishes, and 3 wishes, and 4 wishes, and so on. They can blow them all out on the first of the month. But feel a bit more balanced if it was like you could make one wish every 30 days, and one wish every 29, and every 28, and every 27, and so on. But also, eventually you get down to make a wish every 1 day. And while you could go lower than 1 day, you'll eventually hit a point where you just have no cooldown on the wishes. So, it's probably best just to go with magnitude of the effect. So, like, you make a wish for gold, get 10 septims. Make a wish for gold, get 11 septims, and 12, and 13, and so on, because that can scale infinitely. Just get more septims. There we go. So now for wish effects. Alright, I should also put down the other things, so... could be random blessings. If it's a list, we'd need a hotkey to bring it up, and that hotkey would have to work regardless of what menu you're in, huh? Probably. Yeah, random blessings really would just be the easiest way to go about this, because it's just like, oh hey, timer's up, let's just pop in the next one then. Versus doing the list where we're giving the player a lot of control. I mean, not complete control. The list is going to be randomized every time. May or may not have a static one. Again, I keep going back to the example of just, I wish for gold! So it's a very, very common wish, just to wish for more money. You can wish for more wishes. No, wait. Oh god, yeah. Yes, that'll be a joke wish. I wish for another wish. It gives you one extra wish. You expend your one wish to get you one more wish. Which means it has no effect whatsoever. Oh god. No, there's. I just thought of someone. One way you could do it is just to kill the annoying fan right there and then. And when the annoying fan respawns, you'll get a pop-up message that said, "You never specified how long." Another way you could do it is to disable the annoying fan. A third way is to disable the annoying fan's AI, make him a vegetable. The fourth way, which will require by far the most effort, is to basically write an entirely new NPC using the annoying fan's model and lines, probably splice them together to make a less annoying fan. And when you get that wish, we replace the annoying fan with that new NPC. The less annoying fan. Oh boy. Yeah, if we ever do add a less annoying fan to the list, then it can't be a random blessing. That has to be a wish. So I guess the decision right now is whether it's random blessings or a list that you choose from. He kind of already does all that. Oh, really? Oh, wait, oh, sorry. I misread that. So when not in stealth, he does... Okay. Yeah, when stealth, I think he already does fight, because the... Okay. I know you're probably thinking of Skyrim or maybe other better put together games where you have a follower and they kind of, they follow your lead. They sneak when you sneak, they attack what you attack, they try to help out. In Oblivion, I think, was the first game they tried having companions. And so the follower AI is just, here's the player, follow them. And that's it. No sneak when the player sneaks, no attack when they attack, no, they will just go off on their own, yelling at the top of their lungs the moment they see something hostile. They don't really think much. Yeah, like there's... So Vilja is a very, I think it's the most popular companion mod for Oblivion. That's because the authors of that put in the time and effort to actually code some AI into Vilja. Like some really robust AI. Not only actually thinking in combat, but also responds to scenarios, because they have a voice actor for Vilja, and they of course voice lines for a variety of situations, which is honestly really awesome. That kind of robust AI just became the norm in Skyrim, or rather, they got it half-baked in vanilla, and then you just have mods like Amazing Followers or whatever that actually add in the robust AI. So followers actually are more intelligent. At the very least, they aren't annoying, though. But yeah, Oblivion companion AI is god-awful. Right, I'm just pulling from memory here, because I know if I go to try and look this up, it's going to be like another 20-minute tangent for that. But if you try to sneak with the annoying fan following you, it will stand next to you, not sneak next to you, he will stand next to you with a torch out. And he will still attack the first enemy he sees. That's Oblivion AI. So if it's random blessings, again, it's easier to do, but also reduces what's possible. Because you wouldn't quite know what's going to happen, so it can't be too drastic. Meanwhile, if it's a wish, I have to then set up a hotkey, and it's up a menu with randomized buttons, and then it has the options, and then things can get really wacky there. It is more work. Then again, you're doing more work just because I want to see how it turns out. It's kind of how these Fairgrounds affairs came to be. Yeah. Really just have to go solo in Oblivion. I mean, you could bring companions, but only if you want to do like the full frontal assault type deal. And even then, you probably shouldn't be on the front lines because the AI, yeah, they don't... I won't say they actively get in your way, but they don't try to get out of your way either. And any kind of friendly fire they will perceive as aggression. I mean, if they're friendly, if they haven't disposition to you, then they'll forgive and forget for a couple of hits, but it's not modified for combat. But they aren't more forgiving in combat, is what I should be saying. So you may end up fighting your allies if you decide to go front lines with them. You kind of have to find your own guy off to the side or something. Be very careful. At which point you could stay back and do range, but you still have the same issue. I will say Serrano from Dawnguard is the best companion Bethesda has ever put inside these games. She is actually well written, and it seems like they gave her her own AI separate from the other companion AI, so it's actually more... It's not up to the same level as, say, a modder, because a modder can fully focus on making the AI as good as it can be, but it's definitely a cut above all the other Skyrim AI, companion AI. Did I mention she was well written? So that's honestly a big factor as to why Serrano is so pleasant to travel with. Honestly, there's more bullet points for doing the PC wishes, so that's partially me too. So yeah, probably gonna do the whole let you wish. Hmm. Guess what would be the cooldown then? Whatever. Alright, so need hotkey. Oh, just Farragon has hotkeys too, and maybe Sephiroth as well. Just Farragon's got 2 hotkeys, I think. Oh. Wait, maybe? Does Sephiroth have hotkeys? Because I know I've got a hotkey for random on just Farragon, but that's because it's 1 item. I may not have done that for Sephiroth because it's 6. Alright, hotkey defined. 9 buttons. Cancel, more specifically. Like really late into Sephiroth's development, it started to put brackets around the buttons, which makes them far easier to like spot when you're skimming. That you can clearly see cancel, next, and previous. They have brackets around them as opposed to actual options, which don't. And even then, I have like arrows, so now you see, oh yeah, arrow to the right, next, arrow to the left, to previous. That kind of thing. Readability stuff. Alright. Buttons. Yeah, I'll indent this. Yeah, let's go for 20. Let's aim for 20 effects. Actually, no, let's aim for more realistic 15 effects to start. 15 plus pushes. Random ones. Oh, but when should it cycle the random, though? Because if we cycle the random when the cooldown's done, that means you have to make a wish from those 9 that are chosen. If it's a bad lot, it's a bad lot. If it's a good lot, then you gotta pick one. Or we choose random wishes every time you open the menu, which is exploitable, because you can just keep rolling the dice until you get the wish you want. Each day, that's it. Ooh, it'll make that any configurable too. We have wish has 10-day cooldown. To start with, I'll say it's 10 days, so you can make 3 per month. Because don't really know how powerful the effects will be for now. So I'll just say every 10 days, could be every... Honestly, it could be every day, whatever. However, any configurable. Take that! Alright, if we set the, if I set the cycle for the random 9 options to 0, then it'll cycle every time you pop it up. Which gets into how I'd code it, because one way I could code it is say at midnight every day, I then just draw a random number and generate the list, and then that's the list you pull from each time. But what if you set it to 0? That means every frame it will be generating a new list. Which in a lightly scripted game should be fine. You probably won't notice it, but heavily scripted, that's going to slow things the shit down. So it would have to generate the list when the prompt comes up, like when the keys hit. Of course, means I'm going to have to... means when you hit the key, it's going to have to check when was the last time I refreshed, then when's the... at which point... Because I'm going to have to save the list regardless, but I'll have to generate it not at midnight, but when you hit the button. Then I'll have to check if it's been long enough. Well, that'll actually work out better, because then I can check for the cooldown first, and give you a different message if you can't make a wish. And I'll check for the... if it's been long enough for the options to cycle. And then we'll either cycle the list or not. Now, with this, because it's 9, I don't have to worry about paging. Ooh, we could have a wish for I don't wish for anything. And that'll count for your wish. Just say your wish has been granted. You don't wish for anything. Probably not. I think... well, we'll come up with joke wishes over time, but for now, one that will be there is I wish for another wish. Which will honestly be behind the scenes. I mean, I could do it a couple of ways behind the scenes. One is I could actually grant the wish, start the cooldown, and then just reset the cooldown as part of the wish. But how I think would be a faster way to do it is just when you get that, say, alright, just basically treat it the same as hitting cancel. It's like, I wish for another wish, it's just cancel. Maybe you should cycle them as well. Maybe. Alright, so then... list effects. I think I'll just capitalize it at this point so I know it's the game mechanic. That is a neato idea, but we'd have to think of what to reward them with and how long. The thing is that there's the cancel button, like, if you don't want to make your wish right now, like, you can't really decide, you know? Like, you can look at the list of options, it's random, and then decide, I don't want any of these, or I don't know what I want, just hit cancel and it'll bring it down, and then it can pop it back up again. So, having it go like, I wish for nothing, I mean, I could make that an option that pops up. But if I do, it would have to act as like a multiplier on the next wishes effect. In which case, if you actually do get I wish for nothing multiple times in a row, it would then increase exponentially for whatever wish you finally do get. But how I was thinking of, I think initially before I started to think it through more, was since you can't really wish for nothing because there's the cancel button, that's just, you don't make a wish right now. Then it could be, oh, if you let 10 days pass without making a wish, that kind of counts as you not choosing to make a wish, or forfeiting your wish, you know? So then we count how many cooldown periods it's been since you last made a wish, and give you a bonus for that. Could be XP. Low skills, highest skills. You know, that works. Now, we need 15 effects to start. This is going to take a lot of thinking. Speaking of thinking, I must return to the Throne of Thought. I left my crown. I have returned with my crown. So what I realized is that you could... The wishes could also, just be fortify effects. Like fortify health, fortify strength. Like a shrine blessing would be. But at that point, you can then just say, I wish for strength, or I wish for intelligence, and you get simple effects. And now, all of a sudden, it's really easy to come up with like 30 effects, because you can just say, I wish for fortify attribute, Like, once you leave the realm of unique things and just go back into the mundane magic effects, it gets the list really fills itself out there. Also, on the XP stuff, though, there's ways to phrase the button prompts. One of them could be, I wish for a breakthrough, which will give you XP to your highest skills. Or something. Maybe your low skills. Maybe your lowest skills. I don't know, it's just, like, it makes sense to wish for a breakthrough because you'd want to go higher in the skills that you're training, but also, in terms of, like, the actual player leveling up your character, it tends to be, you get to high level because you've mastered, like, 5 skills, and now you have to train the other stuff at, like, 15 now, a novice, and you just can't use the spells because they do, like, 2 points of damage. At which point you'd want a breakthrough with that, I suppose. But yeah, wish for a breakthrough. Give you a fixed amount, a scaling amount of XP to those skills, but it could be random how many skills you get XP for. Which depends if I can do a weighted randomness. Actually, I kinda can. So, I know there's like a random number that'll give me saved RN. I forget if this is the exact... I definitely use parentheses, but let's just say for argument's sake. Just RNG 0, 100, at which point... X will then be a number from 0 to 100. And then I can just say... X less than 10. Speed to 1 skill. LF X less than 30. XP to 2 skills. And so on. To like LFX less than... I guess like 99. XP to like 10 skills, and then just else XP to all skills. So there's like a 1% chance that you just get an absolute shit ton of XP to everything. Well, not a shit ton, depends on the level of aggro. But I can do weighted randomness like that. So I'll get a truly random number from the RNG function, and then use if statements to weight it. The main point, though, is that whatever the effect is, it has to be something that scales. Because Agronach's going to level up, at which point the power of the wish will level up with it as the basic effect. So XP, you can gain XP equal to the level of Agronach, you know? Gold, you can do the same thing. How Oblivion's skill system works is you just have 21 skills, and use them to gain XP in them. you just do things that relate to it. Like for magic skills, you just cast spells from that school. For blade, blunt, hand to hand, you just smack things with the appropriate weapon type. Well, hand to hand doesn't have a weapon type, so smack things unarmed. Block is, of course, block attacks. Heavy armor is to take damage while wearing heavy armor. Light armor, same deal as heavy. Wearing light. Athletics is to just move beyond a walking pace and don't fast travel, so run everywhere, swim especially. Acrobatics is you gain XP just by jumping. I feel like I'm saying stuff I don't need to say because Skyrim works very similarly. Yeah, you get how that skill system goes. Use it more to get better at it. And then when you hit certain breakpoints, 25 you go from novice to apprentice, and then 50 you go up to journeyman, and 75 is expert, and 100 is master. And each of those breakpoints you gain a perk. Skyrim added skill trees. They're very badly done skill trees, but they still are skill trees. Oblivion doesn't have those. It's just get to a certain skill level and you gain a new effect. Like when you go from a novice of blade to an apprentice, your power attacks deal more damage and they have new animations. When you go, specifically your standing power attack has a new animation and deals more damage. When you go from become a journeyman of blade, your sideways power attacks gain a new animation and now have a chance to disarm. When you become an expert of blade, your backwards power attack gets a new animation and has a chance to knock down. When you become a master of blade, your forward power attack gets a new animation and has a chance to paralyze. With athletics, it's just each breakpoint you regenerate more fatigue. You regenerate fatigue faster, and you lose fatigue slower. With heavy armor, it was... I forget the ordering, but there's weight reduction, and there's also you lose less durability. With light armor, when you get to master, light armor also protects you more. If you wear only light armor, that is. If you wear one piece of heavy, you lose the set effect. With block, I think it was... Yeah, it was master, so I think it was... Yeah. When you get to apprentice in block, it no longer costs fatigue to hold up your shield. There's something I really didn't know about until I finally made a character that didn't have block as a major skill. Yeah, as a novice of block in Oblivion, you actually lose fatigue holding your shield up, so you have to do time blocks, otherwise you'll run out of fatigue. Apprentice, that doesn't happen. With Journeyman, I think it was, yeah, with Journeyman, what you block with no longer loses durability. So you don't lose durability for blocking with your sword, you don't lose durability for blocking with your shield. With Expert, you have... Every time you block an attack, you have a chance to counterattack with a shield bash. That became an active thing as part of the basic toolset in Skyrim. But it was an expert perk in Oblivion, which would stagger your opponent if the bash connects, giving you enough time to land one, maybe two hits, depending on the speed of your weapon. And then at Master Block, you would have a chance to disarm your opponent upon successful block. For magic, the breakpoints were all just... I mean, the spells were divided between Novice, Apprentice, Journeyman, Expert, and Master, so you had to hit those breakpoints to cast those spells. And then overall, increasing your proficiency in a magic skill would also give you cost reduction up to 50% at 100, because when you get to 200 with a skill uncapper, you get 100% cost reduction, which is... everything costs you up. Thing is, though, that some skills, since you have to use them to rank them up, when you get into late game and you still have some skills that are novice, those become agonizing to level up because everything is way too strong for spells that week or whatever else it is. And on the other hand, some things just take a very long time to level up. The most egregious example being athletics. Because, I mean, athletics was the first skill that I maxed out and get to 100 on, like, my first 5 characters. That's also because I never fast travel. Anywhere. For any reason. But the average player is going to fast travel any goddamn time they can, and not actually take the stroll from city to city. So they aren't training their athletics, and athletics is going to stay low for them. So getting XP to random-ish skills, so I could have prompts that give you XP to your lowest skills or to your higher skills or whatever. That'll really help them along. They'll definitely like that. And because it'll scale with Argonauts level, then the higher level it gets, more XP it awards, so as you get later into the game, you can then hope for the wish prompt that gives you XP to your lowest skills, so then you can bring your novice skills up to apprentice, and then maybe you can actually start training them at that point. So I mean, like, novice restoration spells are like 10 points of health. And by the end, you're going to have like 550 health points if you've been choosing endurance optimally. So, freaking novice restoration does you nothing for healing. Almost nothing. I thought I'd just subdivide this. Yeah, alright, so, attribute skill buffs. Still have to decide on the duration and magnitude, because both of those things can scale with Agronauts level, honestly. Yeah, I could scale with both, honestly. Yeah, I could scale with both. Yeah, right. Alright. Alright, XP to your random number of lowest skills. I could just do XP to random skills. And also do XP to random combat stealth magic skills, too. And then XP to random major skills, which are your class skills, and XP to random minor skills, which are the skills not related to your class. You gain levels by increasing your major skills, so that's why you usually have a lot of skills that are novice by the end, if you didn't keep things in mind. Well, I'll be streaming this coding every week, so you'll be able to keep tabs then. And actually, I don't really work on this outside these streams, to be honest. At least not yet. I think once it starts getting going, though, I may start working on off stream. Besides, you're not really leaving early. It's almost time to end anyways. Regardless, thanks for stopping by, and have a good night. I'll be at this for like 4 more minutes, maybe. Yeah, I don't have a playlist for these, but they all have the same type of title. Where I just say the day's date, but in Oblivion calendar. So you can look for those on my channel to get some. Yes, good night, Sobit. You too have a wonderful night. Actually, a wonderful dream, I suppose. Alright. Wait, all that XP variations, that's like... That's 7. And that's 7 wishes. Okay. 15 plus is very attainable now. Sorry, that's actually 6. Get rid of the main one. I could also let you wish for XP to a very specific skill, but I mean, given the 9 options are random themselves, that's also random in of itself. Random on random. Well, I could give you a critical buff. I can get the critical eye effect going. Oh, could wish for animals to stop bothering me. Not animals, creatures. That's a classification. Creatures stop being hostile for X hours. Again, the attribute skill buffs, because there's 21 skills and like I think 8 attributes and then 3 derived attributes. Health, magicka, and fatigue. So there's all told, that's like well over 30. That's definitely over 30 possible wish effects if we're going for individual. Then we can do a combination and mix one, so it's going to be really easy to get a bunch of really flesh out the wish list. It's just a question of unique effects for right now. Although I also need to question just how many effects is too many. So if it's random, which effects pop up on the list, then having too many effects dilutes the pool. Well, it's 22:30, so I'll call it now, and, well, the stream now. And, well, I'm not sure if I'll add to this list or not off the stream. Well, thank you for watching. Absolutely nobody. And I'll see you tomorrow night with the JRPG salad.